Well, are ya? How's it going, y'all? It's me, Space Cadet. I've always had a lot of questions about creativity, and recently I've watched a couple videos on the topic. I've watched one from What Is, and I've watched one from Big Think. But before we get into that, remember to like it if you like it, and sub if you want to. Also, comment down below if you've seen these videos before. I thought they was both pretty interesting, so I'm going to talk about them a little bit. I used to think I was a very creative person, but at some point I asked myself, what's the difference between creativity and just randomness? And at the time, I didn't have an answer, so I sat on it for a long time until I came across these videos. I'm not going to play the videos here, I'm not going to react to them or anything, but if you do want to go watch them, I highly recommend it. I think they're pretty good videos, especially the one by Big. I really enjoyed that one. To me, creativity was purely a human thing, but apparently that's not true. Apparently, animals such as apes and chimpanzees can show creativity. I don't think I ever got an explanation on how they are creative. I guess you can teach some monkeys sign language, but is that creative though? I mean, I've also heard that a monkey that knows sign language has never asked a question before. Also, elephants and pigs, they show creativity. Apparently, a pig can paint. I've seen an elephant paint before, but I've never seen a pig paint until now. But apparently that counts too. But it's also not the same as when a human does it, if that makes sense. Like, they're saying that these animals are showing creativity, but if this is the baseline for creativity, and we're saying that these animals have a sense of creation, that just goes to show you how much further humans are up creatively from that. I just think that that's cool to think about. And this wasn't brought up in the video, but this just popped in my mind. Y'all know how dolphins will chew on pufferfish to like get high? Is that a form of creativity? Because if so, that's cool as fuck. Fuck it, dolphins are creative. Throw them up on the board. And another one that was brought up was birds. Parrots in particular. They're able to like pick different sounds and mimic and put together sounds in their own way, which I would argue is probably the best argument for creativity in an animal. In my opinion, I would say that that's the most concrete evidence of creativity within animals. But also different birds have different songs, so I guess you could say that they're creative in that sense. And another thing that came up between animals and humans was that playing with ideas is more of a human concept, and I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. So as the brain grows larger within different species, the think and do parts of the brain become further apart. So as you think about doing something, and before it's able to reach your do part of your brain, you're able to think more about it. And it's pretty much giving you more options of what you want to do with that thought instead of just immediately thinking something and then doing. That's the way I understand it, at least. Another thing I didn't know is that you can train your creativity. I genuinely didn't know that. I didn't know that you could be more or less creative in your brain. I thought you could either just come up with like you are coming up with creative ideas, or you're not. But apparently that's not how it works. Apparently it works it works just like any other muscle of the body. Give it exercise, it grows. Give it exercise, it grows, it gets better at the thing it's designed to do. Which is awesome. That's fat. That's wild. Which does raise the question of who's the most creative and the most boring person ever. Who do you think must have been the most boring person in history? Let me know down in the comments. And don't say me. Things like doing improv, telling jokes, writing stories is all ways to grow that mental muscle. Creativity is genuinely everywhere nowadays. Everything that we interact with on a daily basis. The questions we ask, the food we eat, the infrastructure we live in and base our lives around, the music we listen to on a daily basis, everything. The way we get from place to place, it's everywhere. Everything in this world is creative. At least to humans, everything is creative. Anything can be a reference point for creativity. Creativity inspires people, and inspired people create. And I guess that's what we call the circle of life. It's always a circle. But that about does it for this one. I just wanted to yap about this for a little bit. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Remember to like it if you like it. Sub if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one.